会零时差，陪你聊两会。大家好，我是海林。当前世界格局正在深刻变革，人类社会面临多重挑战。面对变乱交织的国际环境，中国如何在坚定维护世界和平与发展中谋求自身发展，又如何以自身发展更好维护世界和平与发展？今天我们邀请到了联合国驻华协调员常启德先生，和我们一起聊一聊世界眼中的中国。Joining us today is UN Resident Coordinator Mr. Sidharth Chapji. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As UN Resident Coordinator in China, how do you see the prospects for China's economy and its role in driving the world economy?
Structurally, the Chinese economy is robust. And we've already seen that kind of growth pattern in 2023, coming out of what I call the long winter of the pandemic. The economy has already started to pick up speed. And now is the time to see full speed implementation of the 14th five-year plan. And now job creation is going to be absolutely critical. Domestic consumption is going to be critical. And the opening up that President Xi has been emphasizing on about getting in more foreign direct investment, I see this as an opportunity for really allowing progress in terms of job creation, in terms of enhancing the economic velocity of the country, and in terms of the trajectory that China is taking in terms of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And let me remind the audience that China already has achieved one of the most remarkable achievements, which is to end abject poverty by lifting over 750 million people out of absolute poverty. And so I feel optimistic, and I think the Year of the Dragon has brought in a certain momentum and a certain push into this.
In your opinion, in what areas does China play a role as a major country? And in what areas will it play a role in the future? We know that the Summit of the Future of the UN will be held in New York this September. As UN Resident Coordinator in China, what are your expectations for the role of the summit in promoting global development and the accelerated implementation of the UN 2030 agenda?
There are multiple challenges that the world is seeing, and particularly because of the COVID, we saw many more people fall back into poverty. The effect of climate change is impacting public health as well as food security. Now, China has a critical role, not only as a permanent member of the Security Council, but as a country which is known for its big data technology and ability to innovate. And the fact that it was able to demonstrate to the rest of the world how it was able to lift over 750 million people out of abject poverty, feed 1/5 of the world's population, ensure better biodiversity, set for itself targets of carbon peaking by 2030 and carbon neutrality by 2060, are important ways and mechanisms through which China has a critical role and a leadership role in that. I was very pleased with the interview of Foreign Minister Wang Yi when he talked about the Summit of the Future. It is about the relevance of the multilateral system. We will be doing 4 pre-summits. There will be one summit I will do on governance and development with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government of China. There will be a second pre-summit which the United Nations will do on artificial intelligence and the entire space of science, technology and the governance structures of that. A third pre-summit we will be doing on young people. And because it's also the Summit of the Future is also about youth and the future generations and what kind of a world will they inherit? How do we equip ourselves for that? And a fourth pre-summit we will do with the state-owned enterprises, private sector, because we see the importance of businesses, private sector, state-owned enterprises, not only in giving velocity and generating the jobs that we need, but their role enhancing the Sustainable Development Goals.
President Xi Jinping proposed the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative. In your opinion, how these initiatives fit in with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development?
The United Nations and China is working very closely with the government of China to make sure that the Global Development Initiative is fully aligned with the ambitions of the Sustainable Development Goals. The achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals needs political will. The achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals needs the right public policy. But most importantly, the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals needs countries coming together, because no one country has the resources to do it on its own. We need a partnership here, and I see immense opportunities where the United States, China, the European Union can really come together and have a transformational role in terms of giving more of a lift to the Sustainable Development Goals.
What is the role of young innovators in the development of the world? How should the United Nations and China strengthen cooperation in the field of science, technology, and innovation in the future?
If you look at China's own development trajectory, it is because China invested in three things. Number one, in human capital. Number two, in infrastructure. Number three, in business. It invested in people. It invested in young people, making sure that they had access to good quality education, they had access to good quality skills, they had access to good health. This is exactly what we need across the developing world. Today, everybody is connected, whether it's on social media, through different, social media platforms. And I think this dialogue must keep going on. In fact, we are already planning with the All China Youth Federation one pre-summit to contribute to the Summit of the Future. But the young people, and particularly women and girls, must be allowed to fully embrace and fully have the full opportunity of science, technology, engineering, and math. Because this will define the future ecosystem, the future architecture of the kind of challenges that we are confronting, but also the solutions that are going to be there. And these will be the 5 areas which I think are going to be critical. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, fintech, biotech, and semiconductors. This is going to reshape the way development is going to work. Who will do this? It will be the young people who have the imagination, who have the energy, who have the enterprise. And they need the full support of the United Nations systems, but also of the governments